Weird News Weekly with Ben and Reid.
It is that time once again, time for another episode of Weird News Weekly. My name is Ben Rogers and this guy's name is Reid Marnie. How's it going, Reid?
Ben, it's the end of football season, so I'm not travelling too well at the moment.
Oh, okay.
It's difficult.
You're not really a big fan of the cricket that's kicking in right now?
I do like the cricket, but not as much as I like my footy. So I'm finding it really difficult at the moment. It's a weird mourning process. I'm just getting over the loss of football.
Well, you see, I feel like we're almost a bit of chalk and cheese in this situation here because the basketball has started and I could not be happier. Like, this is my favourite time of year when the basketball starts. We're in week 3 right now and it's already all over the place. Everyone's winning games and losing games. You really can't tell who's like ahead of the pack compared to other people. Because like the Sydney Kings, at the end of the first round, they were dead bottom on the top of the ladder. Now after round 3, they're 100% top of the ladder.
It's hard to keep up this whole 2-game week nonsense. It's bizarre.
So what a difference a week makes. It's crazy.
Hard to keep up.
But as far as weird news for the show today is concerned, Reid, I've found this note that a child has written their teacher because their teacher was sick and they were trying to give their teacher some advice about, how to not be sick. And they thought, hey, I'm going to send my teacher a note. I'm going to give her some pointers. And these pointers have gone absolutely viral everywhere that you can possibly think of. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everyone's absolutely loving this, saying, oh my goodness, this kid's so cute that they think that it's all solved just by doing this one thing. So you'll find out what that one thing is very soon. As well as that, Samsung are not too happy apparently. Obviously, they've had their name kind of dragged through the mud recently with the whole Samsung Galaxy Note 7 situation that's going on. The phones are literally just burning up and exploding. And now there's some videos going around on YouTube that Samsung have decided, okay, we don't like these, so we're going to put in a copyright claim and get all these taken down as quickly as possible because this could mean some very bad PR for us. But I reckon in particular, you're going to be quite fond of what people have been doing in these videos because even myself, I reckon it's quite ingenious. We'll get to it soon. What about you, Reid? What do you got?
Well, it seems there are no new ideas over in Hollywood because a popular app will soon become an actual television game show. Oh, okay. So it seems they're not coming up with any fresh ideas, although I guess it is fresh in a way, but they're resorting to a popular app and making it into a game show. I don't know if it'll work. I've never played the game myself. I'll let you know what the app is later in the show. And also, there's a new idea that Hungry Jacks are inventing. It's a way to make your breakfast mornings even lazier. So, the whole drive-through thing we have at the moment, that's pretty lazy.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to make that even lazier. So lazy, you won't even have to talk. You just drive through the drive-through and don't even speak to anyone there. I know. It's bizarre. All you do is you hand them their money. They give you your order all ready to go. You don't even have to talk. They obviously don't like morning people. So if you're not a morning person, then this idea might tickle your fancy.
Not cracking the sads with anyone over hash browns or something like that. It's just all automatically given to you without any words exchanged.
Exactly right.
Oh, I like it. We'll get to it soon, of course, but if you want to follow along with the show, you can do so on Twitter and Tumblr at Weird News Weekly on Twitter, weirdnewsweekly.tumblr.com. You can leave us a voicemail right there as well, a 90-second voicemail to get involved with the show. Give us your opinions on one of the stories, and we'll go through those ones and interact with you guys as the weeks go on as well. Also, listening to the show, you can follow us on what are they? iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and the audio podcast of the show being uploaded every single Monday, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And more weird news to come for you soon. Reid, I found this note that was written by a child to their teacher who's been sick one day. So the child's decided, okay, if my teacher's sick, I'm going to give them some advice on how to get themselves in a better state, get themselves healthy again. And a lot of people have seen this. It's gone viral all over the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those places where you can see it. And it's one of those notes that you look at and you just go, oh, kids, they're so innocent. They think one simple thing can fix all the ailments in the world. But after I've read through this note, you'll realize that this particular suggestion from this child won't necessarily fix everything. So the note reads as follows. Dear Mrs. Clark, I heard you did not feel good. Well, when that happens, here's a trick to learn. Just go poop. I'm not kidding. It works with me every morning I feel bad. So just remember, when you feel bad, the first thing to do is poop! Exclamation mark. But then, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Reid, it gets better.
Ooh.
Because they've also drawn an illustration as well. It's an illustration of a person clutching onto their stomach going, oh, I don't feel too well. And then the next illustration is them going, oh, light bulb, I've got it. And then there's one of those thought bubbles next to their head that's got a toilet drawn in it. Here's the
Points
simple
for
fix,
creativity.
guys. All I have to do is poop.
I love it. So genius.
So, like, of all the things that this teacher could be sick with, like, she could be off with, I don't know, a head cold or something like that. As far as this kid's concerned, hey, Mrs. Clark, just go poop and your head cold will be gone. Trust me, it works.
We might put that into practice.
Yeah, but it's kind of got me thinking, like, obviously we've seen things like this over the years where kids say what they want to kind of stuff, and it can be seen as really just kind of innocent and just, oh, those kids, they just don't get it, but it's still nice at the same time. What are some of the things that you've seen over the years that kind of go along into this category?
Well, kids have no filter, do they? So,
Yeah.
I mean, unlike us adults, we sort of know what to say at the appropriate moments. A couple of years ago, I was going out for Saturday morning just to the shops, and behind me there was this little girl, and she sort of pointed at this guy next to me, and he says, "Mummy, why is that guy so fat?" And
Oh, no.
and to be fair to the bloke, like, he wasn't that big. I mean, you look at him and think, yeah, he's just got a bit of a gut. That's all, not a huge gut. And I thought, geez, these kids, they just don't know when to shut up.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's pretty much mine. But what about you?
Even this one's actually something that I actually said as a kid, and I remember it to this day that I actually said this. We were out on, it was a Saturday morning. My sister was playing netball that morning, so we all went out to her netball game, and it was myself, my mum, my sister was on the court playing, and we were standing there with all the other mums and the other kids, and the other kids kind of went off and started playing over on the playground. I was a bit of a shy kid at the time because I was only like 3 or 4 years old, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to stay here next to my mum and just be protected and, you know, just watch the game of netball here this morning. And I got really confident all of a sudden, and I turned to one of the other mums and I said, hey, guess what? And she goes, what? And I said, I'm wearing new underpants today.
Oh, dear.
But she acted like she was really intrigued about the whole situation. She was like, really? What colour are they? And I was like, they're red and white. And they've got little blue bits on them. And she was like, oh, well, isn't that lovely? And then I just remember Mum saying to me, Ben, you probably shouldn't talk about your underpants. I was like, oh, okay.
I must say, though, look, kids aren't I'm not the biggest fan of kids by any stretch of the imagination, but I've had a look at on YouTube at a few clips of that TV show hosted by Bill Cosby now.
Yeah.
It's called Kids Say the Darndest Things.
Yep.
And I think over here in Australia it was broadcast for a little time, but over there it was quite popular. And if you go onto YouTube and just type in that, there is some stuff that kids just say, and it's just as if they just don't know what to say. They just say, it just comes out of their mouth. You know, they ask a question about goodness knows what, and spits out with whatever nonsense comes out of their mouth.
It's even one thing that my niece is actually doing at the moment. She can't quite say her M's properly. So she tends to say a word that starts with M, but if she has to repeat it over and over again and she gets very excited about said word, the M turns into a B. And that's not a very good situation when she's running around the backyard of our house calling out to our dog, which is named Mitch.
Oh.
So you have a little girl running around after this little white dog going, Beach, Beach, Beach.
Sorry, neighbours.
Yeah. They're just like, what's this little girl doing over there?
How rude is she? Oh, my goodness.
It is quite funny though, but obviously if anyone out there has seen anything like this note and they want to share something with us, you can leave us a voicemail. Just jump on the Tumblr page at weirdnewsweekly.tumblr.com and leave us a voicemail right there just by clicking the widget on the side of the screen. If you can't get to it on the desktop computer or anything like that, or your laptop, you can also download the SpeakPipe app onto your smartphone. Just type in Weird News Weekly right there and send that voicemail our way via your smartphone, and you'll be part of the show when we go through those ones and interact with you guys. The details on this story though waiting for you at the Tumblr page, also on Twitter at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. Now, Reid, you found a story about a smartphone app that they're using over in the States to make into a game show. I'm guessing this is an app game. It wouldn't just be an app, that checks the weather forecast or anything like that. It's a game.
Be a very boring game show if that was the case.
Predict the weather, guys. What do you think it is over in Helsinki?
It'll be 25 degrees. Yeah, you win.
Woo!
No, that'd be very boring. No, the app that they're turning into a game show is an app I've never actually played, but I've got numerous requests from people over the years who have said, you should play this game. No. The app is called Candy Crush.
The requests that just keep coming and coming and coming on Facebook.
Exactly. And it's also been sort of inserted into games you're already playing. And it says, hey, we know you're pausing at this at the moment, but, you can play this game as well. I was playing a game, and it said, by the way, you could play this game as well. I said, no, I don't want to play Candy Crush. I'm over it. Delete. So anyway, the game show that they're turning into is going to be over in America. But this is where it takes a little bit of a weird turn. You know how in America they have like hundreds of what they call cable TV networks, all their paid TV networks. They have like hundreds of them.
Yeah.
And I thought that's where the game show would go, right? No, it's going on CBS, which for those of you in Australia, that is a major network. So over here, that's probably like your channel 7, 9, and 10 over there. So that's the equivalent of their free-to-air television network. So it's a major television network. It's not some little pay TV network. It's the big network.
Well, because that's the station that airs Survivor over in the US. That's like basically one of the biggest export shows that America's ever had as far as reality TV. That is a CBS production. So you would think, okay, CBS, they're going to be broadcasting quality TV all the time if they've come up with something like Survivor. Apparently not.
No. So CBS also does Big Bang Theory, by the way.
Okay.
And Survivor, which Survivor's been going for years and years.
Like 33 seasons now?
Something like that. It makes you wonder how Jeff Probst would ever get a job anywhere else. He's obviously contracted to that show for life. So the game is quite popular. I had no idea how popular the game was. Apparently, every single month in the game, there are 18 billion game rounds a month. So that's people playing the game. So that much is getting downloaded and also played every single month. 18 billion, Ben.
Damn, that's huge.
It is huge. It's massive. And the developer of the game, of the app, King, they're actually going to be producing the television show.
Okay.
So they're not going to just be producing the app. They're going to be producing the app and the game show with CBS.
So now, rather than playing Candy Crush yourself, you're going to watch a group of people play Candy Crush on TV, basically.
Yeah. I don't know how that's going to be for the viewer taking all that in.
This is like the app version of what Gogglebox is, basically.
Don't get me started on Gogglebox.
Well, it's basically the same thing because we're watching people watch TV and react to it. So now we're watching people play a game that we could already be playing on our smartphones.
Pretty much. So it makes you wonder, we go to the... So maybe we are so obsessed with Candy Crush that we can't get enough of it in our tiny little phone. We need to watch it on TV to enjoy the experience as well. Is it that popular? It looks like it could actually be. Now, at the moment, no host has been announced.
Okay.
And I'm not too sure who they would get. A lot of people were saying you should get Bob Barker in. Now, for those in Australia who don't know who that is, he was a guy in America who hosted Wheel of Fortune. I don't know. I'm amazed he's still alive, if that's the case, because he's like an 80, 90-year-old bloke. I don't know who they would get. Drew Carey, he actually hosts I think it's
Price is Right.
The Price is Right. Yeah. So he actually took over from Bob Barker.
Yeah.
So maybe he could be it. They haven't got a short list of names, but is there anyone in America you reckon could host Candy Crush Saga? Because I don't know of anyone who could.
I could almost see one of the former hosts of something else doing this. Like, this could be something that they'll dig up Jon Stewart for and get him to, host something like this, and he'll just be like, yeah, if you're going to give me the money, I may as well get out and do something for it.
Hey, a lot of Americans pay for a lot less, so I'm sure if they were offered the job of Candy Crush, they would take it in a heartbeat. If they produce an Australian version of the show, which I know is a long way off, but if they do an Australian version, I really want them to get hot dogs to host the show.
Oh my God, that's a flashback and a half.
I adore hot dogs when he was hosting the Up Late Night game show, quiz show, whatever it was called.
Yeah.
And I thought, where is he now? Surely he would be loving to do a game show. So, Australia, if the show comes down under, he's your man.
Oh, he's probably working at Wendy's making the hot dogs. Actually,
well, apparently,
you know who could be a really good host for the American version of it?
Hey, on me.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh,
that is something I could actually see him doing.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know what he's up to nowadays. Now that How I Met Your Mother's all done, but he could be doing it. I don't know why. I don't know why not. So there we go. There's a shortlist already. But apparently the game show isn't due to be broadcast until next year. So plenty of time to get a host, and I'm hoping the show does be successful, because imagine if we live in a world where an app is a popular game show as well. It's going to happen. It's going to be a reality.
Well, it kind of makes you think, though, if they're changing this into a game show, what other app games could they start changing into game shows as well?
Well, if you look at history, last year they made Angry Birds into a film.
Uh-huh.
So if they can make that into a film, why can't they make that into a game show?
Well, let me have a look right now. Let's go to the App Store here, and
I'm going to do the same thing.
We'll see what the top rated games are currently on the iTunes App Store. Trending apps and games. Let's go categories. That's games, all games, and best new updates. Call of Duty Heroes. Don't think that'll be getting made into a game show anytime soon. Jetpack Joyride. That's one that I've seen on there for quite a few years now. I've actually played that quite a few times too. That's quite a good game. I don't know how they'd make it into a game show though, but they could work it out somehow. Okay. Dumb Ways to Die.
I love Dumb Ways to Die.
That could be an interesting one. That's one of the top app games going around at the moment as well. You obviously have it on your phone, I'm guessing. Lovely. We like it. So if there are any particular apps that you think we could be making into game shows, like Candy Crush is going to be done so with here, you can leave us a voicemail and give us your thoughts on this whole thing. weirdnewsweekly.tumblr.com is where you'll find a little widget on the side of the page to send us voicemails. You can check that one out on your desktop or your laptop, but if you want to do it via your smartphone, download the SpeakPipe app and leave us a voicemail right there. Just type in Weird News Weekly and send that one our way, and just like that, you'll be a part of the show. But you can get the details on this story at the Tumblr page, also at Weird News Weekly on Twitter. Reid, I have found a story concerning Samsung, and Samsung are not very happy with what's going on here in this situation. Of course, Samsung's name has kind of been dragged through the mud recently with the whole Samsung Galaxy Note 7 situation. The phones are, just flat out exploding. And they're just like, okay, what's going on here? We don't know how to fix this. And so what they've done is they've done a massive recall on all the Samsung Galaxy Note 7s that weren't working, got them all sent back. They've sent out thousands upon thousands of replacements to people, and those replacements have also been exploding.
Oh!
So it looks like they're going to have to take the phone off the market completely. If you get onto a plane, for example, there's actually a warning when you get onto a plane now. The cabin crew will actually say over the loudspeakers, "Ladies and gentlemen, if you are an owner of a Samsung Galaxy Note 7, we'd appreciate it if you please turn off your phone for the entirety of the flight."
Oh, I heard in Australia on some airlines they're actually banning the phone completely.
Yeah.
So if you have a phone, they won't even let you on the plane with a Galaxy Note.
Oh wow! So they're just not even letting you on the plane if you had that phone in the first place. That's crazy.
I know.
But what's going on here, Reid? Something very hilarious, in my opinion, is happening. There's a whole heap of videos being posted to YouTube right now, and Samsung are putting out a big, massive copyright claim to try and get those videos taken down as quickly as possible because they're not liking the theme of these. Now, these videos are all to do with Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right.
Now, I've said Grand Theft Auto 5, we're talking about Samsung, and you've got to be thinking, how do these two things possibly go together, and why is Samsung so outraged about this?
It's something to do with how do they get people out of cars, perhaps?
Well, okay, here it is, Reid. The PC version of Grand Theft Auto 5, you can make modifications to the game. So people are making all these new mods every single day and uploading them to the cloud, and then you can download these mods into your game to change up the look of your Grand Theft Auto gameplay. So, there is a certain thing in the Grand Theft Auto game known as a sticky bomb. You stick the bomb down on something, you run away, then you hit a detonator, and that bomb explodes. In this new mod, the sticky bombs are actually Samsung Galaxy Note 7s.
Oh, that is genius.
So there's videos all over YouTube at the moment of people going up to cars and just putting Samsung Galaxy Note 7s all over it. And then they run away and they push the detonator and it goes poof.
Wow. Oh, that is fantastic.
It makes you think that people have got way too much time on their hands, but at the same time, congratulations to these people who do have too much time on their hands. Round of applause. You guys have done spectacularly well in this situation.
I think we've established on our program a lot of people have too much time on their hands with the stuff they've done over the years, but that one takes the cake because that takes a lot of time, I'd imagine, to get that all set up and to even think to do that. So, wow, that is genius.
So it's one of those things where I don't know how they're going as far as getting all the videos taken down. I'll just go to YouTube now on my phone and just see if I type in GTA 5 Samsung. I barely even had to type in Samsung and it came up GTA 5 Samsung Galaxy. Rightio, what do we got here? Explosive Samsung Galaxy Note 7, GTA 5 Samsung Note 7 explode. Yeah, there's crap loads of videos here that they still haven't gotten a hold of yet, but it's just fantastic that someone's gone to the lengths of making this actually happen. So it's just amazing how people go on these tangents of thought in their mind and they're just like, yeah, I reckon people will think that's funny. Let's make a mod on Grand Theft Auto 5 with exploding Samsung Galaxies.
I'm just watching it live at the moment.
Yeah.
And, yeah, brilliant. That was simple. Simple but effective.
There was one that I saw where someone's gone up to a car, put a whole heap of Samsungs over the car, and then the car's exploded. And they've done the same thing to a tree. They put the Samsungs all around the trunk of the tree, detonated them, and the tree was just still standing there perfectly. Because it's one of those things in Grand Theft Auto, trees are like indestructible. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Wow, okay. Do you think this is like the best thing to happen to Apple? Because I'm pretty sure over the years that Samsung were selling more phones than Apple was. Now with the whole phones blowing up in the middle of nowhere, do you reckon this is they've just handed Apple a bunch of money and said, you know, we give up? Because, I mean, this is just the best thing to happen to Apple. Surely. I mean, it's just so good hearing of phones randomly exploding.
Well, I reckon the winner in this situation could actually be Google. Because they've just released their brand new Pixel phone. A lot of people not liking the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 because it has the potential to explode. A lot of people not liking the iPhone 7 because, no headphone jack, and apparently that's a no-no with everybody. So with those two things combined, I think Google might be the big winner here, if anything.
Maybe it's like a big conspiracy theory and Google has somehow set this all up. They have purposely planned. They've got someone on the inside who's making their phones all blow up, so they'll come over to Google and buy our Pixel phone.
But apparently they're even saying that things aren't 100% perfect with the Google Pixel phone, but at the same time, considering it's their first big major push into the smartphone domain, they've done an absolutely phenomenal job. So I can only imagine what's going to keep coming in the future for the next generations of the Pixel phone. I'm already considering getting one for my next contract. I have the iPhone 6S right now, and it's really not that great. If I do go and get another smartphone, I could actually change over to Google.
Wow. That's pretty big.
Someone who's been an iPhone person since 2010. That's a big shift.
It's gonna be a big game changer, I reckon. I know we're going off on a little tangent here, but I think it's a big game changer. I've seen all the ads. I've seen it actually physically up close. It looks pretty cool. So I reckon it'll work. So I hope it does some damage to our Samsung by the sounds of it.
But if you'd like to read more about this story, we'll post an article for you right now at the Twitter and Tumblr accounts. The good news is the article does contain videos as well, so you can see the whole GTA 5 thing of the exploding Samsung Galaxy Note 7s, which is just fantastic. Head to Twitter at Weird News Weekly on Twitter, weirdnewsweekly.tumblr.com as well. Leave us a voicemail right there and give us your opinions on the story. Reid, you found a story about basically an awesome play on words here, if anything else.
Pretty much, and I reckon they're doing it simply for this play on words. The restaurant chain, and even that's a bit of a loose term of the word restaurant, Hungry Jack's. They're one of the fast food outlets here in Australia. They're going to be trialling a new piece of technology. Now, on our highways and toll roads up in specifically Melbourne, we have a thing called the E-tag.
Yep.
Now, basically, the option of that is that when you drive under certain points, it beeps, and then that'll show up on your bill as to what roads you've been on and so forth. Well, they're trialling a new system. They've got an E-tag system for their breakfast menu. Okay. And they're calling it, wait for it, the Breck E-tag. And that's what they're actually calling it, the Breck E-tag.
Oh, well done.
So I think that's just a beautiful play on words. So the interesting thing here is what people have to do is they go onto the Hungry Jack's website or the Breck E-tag website, register their details as to what they like for breakfast, and then when they get to the restaurant, the E-tag will beep. So when that beeps, the restaurant inside, they're getting your order ready.
Oh,
so
wow.
all you've got to do is so what this system is essentially doing is it's eliminating that first window at the drive-thru where you tell them what you want for your order. You just drive past that window, give them your money, they give you your order, away you go.
You know what this is going to create, though? It's going to create one of those situations where someone's just like, they're taking our jobs.
It's possibly going to do that because we already have self-serve checkouts at supermarkets. A place other people don't like talking is the drive-thru or fast food places. I can concur with that. So I think this is fantastic. You won't even need to talk. And I reckon what they've established here is that morning people don't like to talk.
Yeah.
So essentially you don't even have to say to the person, I want a Whopper, 2 Whoppers and another Whopper. Yep, okay. Next window, pay for your order. So you don't even have to pay.
Well, especially now for like McDonald's, for example, they have McCafe through the drive-thru. So you can order your coffee now through the drive-thru. You don't have to go in store to actually get it. So I could imagine a lot of the people who are ordering coffees through the drive-thru are a little bit disgruntled because they haven't had their morning coffee yet and they're still waiting for it to happen. So they finally get their coffee and they're just like, give it. Oh, that's good stuff. Have a good day, Macca's.
I know of a drive-through coffee place here in Geelong, and the line in the morning is ridiculous. There's people waiting in their cars on the actual road, waiting to get in.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the back of them, there's a whole bunch of cars not wanting to go to the drive-thru, just wanting to go past the cars, waiting to go in the drive-thru. So essentially, it's like a massive bottleneck of cars because people want to have coffee, and then there are those who just want to drive past those people who are having their coffee.
Which one are you talking about here exactly?
There's one on Shannon Avenue in Geelong West.
That's the one that I was thinking of straight away, and that would absolutely suck because it gets so busy around there in the mornings around school time because there's so many different schools in that area. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. So avoid that area if you're not a coffee person, but I'm not too sure if the coffee is good or bad. I've never had it, so I've never really gone to those drive-through coffee places. So let us know if you've been to a drive-through coffee place.
Which one is that one? Is it Bean Squeeze?
Bean Squeeze. I reckon it's Bean Squeeze.
Bean Squeeze I've heard is pretty good. My mum and dad actually go to Bean Squeeze before they go out to... My dad does bike riding. He's a recreational bike rider. It's like the sport that he does on the weekends. And they always go and get a coffee before they go out to the location where they do their racing. And so they always go to Bean Squeeze and they get their certain coffees. And apparently they are actually quite nice. The one to stay clear of is apparently Muzzbuzz. And I'm guessing just from the name itself, Muzzbuzz wouldn't be all that great as far as drive-through coffee is concerned.
I like to think of myself as a coffee connoisseur. I like my coffee, and the one place I've never had coffee is a drive-through coffee place.
Yeah.
I think it would just spill all over my car. I know they might put some sort of special, thing to drink it with, but I don't want any coffee going in my car. Thank you very much.
Well, the only thing that I really ever go through a drive-through for, like as far as a beverage is concerned, every now and then I'll go through the McDonald's drive-through and get myself a chocolate thick shake, and I'm always very careful with that to make sure I don't drop it anywhere because, spilt thick milk in your car would just end up smelling disgusting. So I'm just like, just hold on to it as tightly as you can without bursting it.
Man, we don't want that, especially the smell afterwards.
Yeah, it would suck.
But the place they're trialling this technology with the brekkie tag, I don't know about you, but I don't know a lot of New South Wales very much, like in terms of all the places they have. This technology will be trialled at a place in New South Wales at a store in Tumbi Umbi.
Tumbi Umbi?
Tumbi Umbi.
In where, New South Wales?
On the New South Wales Central Coast. There is a place apparently called Tumbi Umbi. I had to go onto Google Maps to see if it was actually a thing or not. Turns out there's a place
Who back in the day was
Umbi.
naming these places? Is Tumbi Wumbi anywhere near Wagga Wagga?
I don't know. I didn't bother to look that far. I just know it's in this New South Wales Central Coast. I'm going to Google it right now.
Just a bunch of
I've never heard of it before.
A bunch of dudes who were drunk in a pub one night. They were just like, rightio guys, we got to name the extra places around here. What's that one going to be called? Oh, just call that Wagga Wagga, mate. Oh yeah, what about this one over here? Tumbi Wumbi. That'll do.
But I mean, no, they're not even close. Wagga and Tumbi-Umbi, but Tumbi-Umbi, I can't believe that's an actual name of a place. Imagine, I mean, people must be embarrassed to be from there. Oh yeah, I'm from Tumbi-Umbi. Where? Man, I'm from Melbourne. Where's Tumbi-Umbi? That's not even a place. That's not anything. No, it's an actual name of a New South Wales town.
Well,
Tumbi-Umbi.
I wonder if it'd be one of those ones that ever pops up on like the X Factor or something like that. They're just like, oh, where are you from? I'm from Tumbi-Umbi, New South Wales. Okay, no worries. Because I think the most interesting one we've seen on one of those shows was Shannon Noll back in the first season of Australian Idol. He was from Condobolin.
Oh, nosy.
And then they had the joke where it was on Rove when they did the remake of the film clip, and Condobolin was Condobolin.
So prime material for a future comedy song in the future.
Exactly.
Tumbi Umbi. I don't know what the population is for Tumbi Umbi, but I can't imagine it'd be a great deal of people.
Let's find out, shall we? Tumbi Umbi. So I'm guessing it's just spelt how it sounds.
Tumbi Umbi.
Tumbi Umbi population. Let's see what we got here. Tumbi zombie population. Why am I getting stuff about zombies? I don't want stuff about zombies. Okay, let's get some spelling here, Reid. Tumbi is?
Tumbi.
Tumbi.
Space.
Oh,
Umbi.
yeah.
Tumbi Umbi.
Is it Tumbi Umbi or Tumbi Umbi? Either way, it's hilarious, so it doesn't really matter.
It's hilarious both ways. It doesn't matter. I've got... Mine here says, as of 2011, in the 2011 census, they had a population of 4,977.
Yeah. Wow.
Jeez.
Tumbiumbi or Tumbiumbi, whichever one you'd prefer to call it, not a very big town.
Nah. Either way, fun to say. Tumbiumbi.
Yeah. Fun to say, possibly not as fun to go to.
No. And sorry to those if we're making fun of your little country town up there in New South Wales, but it's a fun town that actually is a name of a place.
Exactly. But if you want to give your opinions on this story and maybe just send us a voicemail saying Tumbiumbi and Tumbiumbi because it's fun, you can do so at weirdnewsweekly@tumblr.com. You can find the details on this story right there, as well as on Twitter at Weird News Weekly on Twitter as well. Get the details of the story, send us a voicemail, and be part of the show. Reid, that's another episode of Weird News Weekly. All said and done, our second attempt to record the show this week. We had some technical difficulties earlier in the week, and we just thought, hey, let's just wait until another night because this is just getting far too frustrating. And now we got there. So that's the good thing about this whole situation. We have another episode to put out there for the people, and hopefully the people who are listening or have listened to this episode enjoyed the episode, and hopefully you guys get involved with it as well. But as far as the stories are concerned, Reid, any final thoughts that you'd like to add on anything?
Yeah, I might be going past the town of Tumbiumbi one day just to actually see if it's a town.
Yeah.
And I might be asking people, why is your town called Tumbiumbi? And what's the right pronunciation? Is it Tumbiumbi or Tumbiumbi? Let me know.
Please answer the question for us, guys. We really need to know.
No one needs to know who's going to be the next president of the United States in the next 20 years. We want to know the correct pronunciation of your little town. Tumbiumbi, Tumbiumbi.
I would love to
find
out more of the weird names that Australian towns have. Because, like, you look at New Zealand ones and they've got places that are called, like, Whakatane, for example. And you're just like, surely we have something around Australia that is up there that rivals Whakatane. It's got to be.
Oh, well, the only one I know is a town in New South Wales called Bogan.
Oh, okay.
There's a town called Bogan, and they made a statue. They made a statue of a bogan in the town Bogan.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. That exists.
We do have the town of Bega, which is, where the cheese comes from. So that's not really all that funny, but it's just like, hey, no one knows your town for being Bega, which is a nice place by, the water that's nice to go. They just know that your place is responsible for the cheese that we eat on a daily basis.
I like it. We also have one called Orange, a town called Orange. Imagine being from a town that people know you as a colour. I'm from the town Orange. Well, I'm from the town Black. No.
It's funny, though, because they actually, in the network of radio stations that I work for, we actually have a Power FM in Bega.
Ooh.
And it's known as Power FM Bega.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, they're the cheesy version of Power FM. Everyone tends to not listen to them as much because their jokes are just terrible.
Yeah.
But then you look at a place like Ballarat, for example, that is one suburb name away from being very racist. I reckon.
Yeah.
Because you've got Brown Hill, you've got Black Hill, all you would need to put in there is Slope Hill, and you've got the whole trifecta.
Well, residents from Ballarat refer to their own town as the Rat.
Yeah.
So maybe they should change the name of Ballarat to the Rat and just get it over and done with.
Yeah. That would be... Imagine that. Me being on the radio doing stuff, just going, oh, yeah, it's a nice day here in the Rat.
People say, don't call your town the Rat. Well, that's what's actually called, the Rat.
But as far as the show is concerned, if you want to keep in touch with us socially, you can do so on Twitter and Tumblr, at Weird News Weekly on Twitter, weirdnewsweekly.tumblr.com. Check out the podcast itself on SoundCloud, Stitcher, and iTunes. Rate, review, and subscribe in all those places right there. You'll find the audio uploaded every single Monday night, Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you are listening to this somewhere else around the world that isn't Australia, obviously you'll have to make the time adjustments there to know when that it's actually happening. I'm guessing for the States, for example, it'd be like sometime on a Sunday night or early Monday morning by that stage.
Probably one of the two.
Yeah, something like that. So make the adjustments. It's pretty easy to do that kind of stuff online or just on your iPhone, whatever. But yeah, that's another episode of the show, all said and done. We will catch you next time. I've been Ben Rogers. This guy has been Reid Marnie. Catch you next week. See you, bye.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to rate and review the show on iTunes and follow on Twitter and Tumblr for more details on the covered stories. Just search Weird News Weekly. You can also be part of the show and give us your opinions on a story by sending a voicemail via the SpeakPipe app, or just click the voicemail link on the Tumblr page. Spoken by Sarah D and sped up like this because we like the way it sounds on the government ads.
Bitch! Bitch! Bitch!
Oh, man. With all my cold I had recently, I sort of lost the ability to go high in my voice.
Yeah.
So, you get to say bitch in a kid voice.
Bitch!
Me? Bitch! That's as high as I can go. I can't go any higher.
Oh, funny.
Seriously. Bitch! I can't go any higher.
Is there anyone at home with you at the moment?
Yes.
They're just sitting there wondering why you're yelling out bitch in a high-pitched voice. Your mum's going to walk in and go, Reid, I don't think that's appropriate.